Welcome back to another video. Today, as I'm recording this, marks 1 month exactly since I moved from Toronto to Calgary. It's obviously been a really big change. I've had some questions as well on what Calgary is like and things that people do. And so today I'm going to take you guys along for what I think is going to be the quintessential Calgarian summer weekend. I think. I am in the bathroom because I'm about to get ready. Yesterday had marked the start of the Calgary Stampede. I've never been to the Stampede, okay? I feel like when people think about Calgary, that's like one of the first things that you think about is either cowboys or mountains. If you guys aren't familiar with the Stampede, it is the biggest, if not one of the biggest rodeos in North America. But it's not just a rodeo. Here's the thing, I've heard about the Stampede. A lot of people that have gone have told me it's like wild, you're never gonna see anything like it type of thing. But I always thought until this past year when I've started to look more into it that it was just the rodeo, and it's actually not. It did have origins, you know, very much centered around being a rodeo, but what I have since learned about the Stampede is there's actually multiple events, multiple venues across the city. So it's not just the fairgrounds, which we are going to go to this weekend as well, but there's also different concerts, other street fairs and stuff like that. There's just a huge sense of a collective excitement for it. It's really special. I think it's so cool that like this is such a big thing for the city that happens every year and that people literally travel from outside of the country just to come to this, and we're so privileged to be able to just go there because we live here now. Today we're actually going to something that is not cowboy related but also part of the Stampede. Today we're gonna go see a DJ, Chris Lake, and also Elderbrook. They are performing at Badlands, which is one of the tents, one of the venues that is part of the Stampede. It is specifically for dance music, so EDM. So let me get my hair done and a quick outfit change. After a night at Badlands, we decided to take the next day to do some easy walks around Nose Hill Park. This had been on our list for quite a while, and if you didn't know, this is one of the largest urban parks in North America, and it covers so much space with tons of different trails. It's perfect if you're looking for a hike, bike, or even to check out some wildlife. Alright, you guys, it is Stampede time. Today is free admission from 8 until 11. I think it's called Family Day or something like that. Given that it's already free today and we didn't really feel like going for a whole session through the night, I feel like this is a good way to go and actually see what it's like on the Stampede ground, see what's happening, and just like take it easy. So that's the vibe for today. This is my hat. I got this hat on Amazon. This dress that I have, just a regular floral dress, nothing special. I bought these boots about 10 years ago and I've just always had them. I remember I wore them like twice and people kind of made comments that they look like cowboy boots, and I was super embarrassed, and then I never wore them again and I just always held on to them. It's perfect. So these are the boots that we're gonna pair. there's a lot of food options outside. Unfortunately, there's no air conditioning outside, and we're in the middle of a heat wave, so we found a food hall downstairs, which is air conditioned. Later that week, we decided to check out the Inglewood night market. This isn't actually part of the Stampede, but it happens on select weekends throughout the summer, so I highly recommend you checking out the schedule. There were so many vendors, and I am such a sucker for looking at all the handmade crafts, the vintage finds. Then we grabbed a drink at Cold Garden, which is a brewery just around the corner. Atmosphere was just perfect, and I would say this is one of my favorite patios that I've been to in a while. And finally, this was the last weekend of the Stampede for the year. We just had so much fun before that we had to come back, obviously, and there were several shows we wanted to check out. It was so much fun, and there was so much energy that we were not expecting throughout the whole night. It is 11:51 and there's people everywhere. How is that possible? Not gonna lie, we are a little bit sleepy, but we've rallied and it's a beautiful Sunday, so we're gonna take some time and go down to the river. We're walking through the park, and it's actually really nice. It's not too busy now because it's pretty early still. Is it Sunday night? Yes. Am I going to see Ty Dolla $ign? Yes. Am I going by myself to this concert? Also yes. It has now been almost a week since the Stampede ended. I actually can't believe that I went to the Stampede or some sort of Stampede event as many times as I did. So I want to take a couple seconds to recap how it all was, what I recommended, any tips if you guys are deciding to go next time around. I had some preconceived notions of what it was going to be like because I know a few people that have gone before, and every person that had talked about it was saying it's absolutely wild. Going there was not as wild as I thought it was going to be. And if you've been to like any type of fairs or festivals in wherever you live. In Toronto, there's the CNE, which is once a year, and there's typical rides, foods at the fair, stuff like that. That's mostly the vibe, but then there's like more specific things like the concerts and shows, and also the rodeo itself, which we did end up going to, and I'm really glad we went because that's how it all started. That's the whole heritage of the Stampede. I didn't really try out most of the foods. There's so many videos if you go on TikTok or Instagram. Nothing stood out to me as amazing quality, but for the novelty of it, I think it's cool that there's things like pickle pizza and stuff like that. What I actually found surprising was that there's a little bit of something, I think, for anyone in terms of the type of music they have, or the rides and games obviously are very family oriented. And then there's actually country music. There is a tent for country specifically called Nashville North. We spend a good amount of time in there. That's also for adults. So if you're looking for a bar, you're looking for more of that scene, then that's where we were. I am not even gonna downplay it, but I really did love the vibes and just how everyone was there to have a good time. Everyone was there to just like enjoy this thing that only happens once a year. Almost everyone had their cowgirl outfits on. I had my hat and some boots, but some people like really took it to the next level, which I thought was really fun. The last day that I did go was to see Ty Dolla $ign. This is my moment to geek out about Ty Dolla $ign, but I had a concert ticket for him last fall in Toronto and then he canceled. So when I saw that he was performing here, I thought it's on a Sunday, I have work the next day. You know, sometimes you just gotta bite the bullet. And my boyfriend was also working the next morning, so he decided to opt out, and I was like, I'm gonna go by myself. So that's my recap. I feel like I just rambled on. I don't think I'm gonna keep everything because I just talked for a solid 10 minutes about how much I enjoyed the Stampede. What I also came here to actually talk about was my experience so far. I just feel like time has flown by so fast, but also I feel very much settled in now, and my day-to-day finally has some sense of routine, and I just feel really excited for the rest of the summer. But apart from that, I do want to say thank you for all of the support, and hi to all the new faces that have just stumbled across my channel from the moving series. I also have to say that there's been a lot of people moving this year, or maybe it's because I did a series of my own that I'm seeing more videos like this, because I don't remember seeing as many people moving. It's also really cool to see when those moves are to different provinces or states or across the country, because I feel like kind of normalizes the idea of, you know, not having to stay in one place forever. And if that's something that you guys have done yourselves, I'd love to hear more of your stories. I know a few people already have said that they've lived basically in all the places that I have, which would be Vancouver, where I grew up, and then Toronto, now Calgary. So yeah, it's, you know, it's part of life, and you won't know if you don't try to go and live somewhere. But so far, like I said, it's been a really solid couple of months so far. Last thing I want to end on is a very quick Q&A. So I did post on my community tab yesterday to ask if you guys had any questions. I didn't end up getting that many questions, and also some of them aren't related to like moving, which I probably should have been more clear about, but I think it's still fun because I haven't done a Q&A in a long time. First is, how long did it take in total to pack up and then unpack? To pack, I would say I did draw out the process a little bit. I had an in-depth Notion template, Notion dashboard about the move, and it was like broken down by the week in terms of what things I should be packing. I thought that would be helpful because I'm very last minute with things usually, so just to have some milestones of like, okay, week 1 I should have this stuff packed, etc., was what I thought would be helpful. And that was across, I think, the span of 5 or 6 weeks, I think. Did I actually follow that plan? No, because working and we had vacations and stuff like that, like there was a lot happening during that time, so spreading it out was beneficial, but it wasn't exactly according to the plan that I made. If I was hyper focused and just committed all of my time, then it could probably have gotten done in a week. And then to unpack, we're not fully done unpacking. I wish I could say that I was, but majority, I'd say like 90%, except for things that obviously we don't use every day, because if we did use them, then we would have unpacked it already. That took us like a couple weeks basically. The other questions, I feel like if you're newer to this channel, might give you like some more context of what to expect and what this channel is about outside of my moving stuff. How has your running journey been going, and are you going to sign up for any races? So I have mentioned since we moved here that I've started to do some running and it's been going very well. I did a run this morning and I actually ran the longest consecutively that I have before. And it's just very surprising how you can really do anything that you set your mind to. I think the journey could be going better if I was more consistent, but like that's what everybody has been saying, is just going and doing some sort of run is better than no run at all. I would love to sign up for a race. Because I haven't been on my plan very consistently, it's pushing out the length of time that it's going to take me to get to a 5K, because that's the plan that I'm using is on Runna. I'm trying to run 5K. I can't do that yet, but I will be able to by the end of this. It said initially that it would take 6 weeks, and because I've been so on and off, it's obviously taking longer than that. If by the end of the summer I can do a 5K, I think that would be amazing. So if you are in Calgary and you have any race ideas that are 5Ks, let me know. Next question is, how much time does your channel take from your weekly schedule? It depends on what I'm posting that week, but I do try to post at least once a week. I would say I could spend up to like 20 plus hours a week. Now I have made some optimizations to the way that I make content. I've talked about making my editing simpler and stuff like that, and that's really helped with time. I try to aim for like under 15 hours, between 10 to 15 hours. And then the follow-up question from the same person was, what kind of tech are you using? So the main camera that I have that I'm filming with is the Sony a6700, and the lens that I have is the Sony 11mm f1.8. This is generally what I use at home. When I'm out, I generally use either my phone or the DJI Osmo Pocket 3, and then I edit on my MacBook Pro with Final Cut Pro. Also got a question on if I've been to New York City. I have. I went in 2019 by myself. That was actually a solo trip that I took when I first moved to Toronto, because Toronto is very close to New York and I'd never been as close to New York, so I was like, I have to go. Didn't have anyone to go with, so I just decided to book a flight there, but I would love to go back one day. Very last question, will I be focusing only on creating content or another type of job? So if you guys don't know, I do have a full-time job. I work in basically advertising, technology, digital marketing, a mix of things. You know, I don't really go in depth about work on my channel. If I take you guys through days in my life, it's a part of my life, but it's not the focus of my content. At the end of last year, I did take a 4-month hiatus, I guess is what people call it, where I had quit my last job without another job lined up. I had documented a lot of that part of my life and just like shared what it was like to basically embody the mindset of someone that was doing content full time, because I was doing more content than I ever had before. But then in January, I did start this current job that I have. So in recent content, you guys may hear me talk about like balancing all the things, because I do work and YouTube is on top of that, among other things. Trying to have a well-rounded, balanced life. Those are all the questions. Let me know if you guys had anything else on your minds in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed coming along for a series of different things through this video. I'm already excited for the next summer and the next stampede, I'm not gonna lie. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to like this video if you haven't yet, and to check out other videos from me on the screen, and I'll see you guys next time.